Hi, welcome to UH Studio's YouTube channel. I am Dimitar, a practicing architect, and I'll show you what architects do and how we think about space. You will find videos on the following topics, and stay tuned to where I explain each in more detail later in the video, concluding with a short bio about me. So we'll be talking about giving an architect's understanding on design projects, design and graphic software tips on tutorials covering Blender, Krita, Rhino, Grasshopper, Affinity Photo, Designer, Publisher, Freecad, Procreate, and others. Whew. We'll also talk about what it's like being an architect working on large international projects. I share my experiences in the office, dealing with projects, clients, and office culture. And lastly, we'll talk about tech that improves productivity for architects and designers. That includes 3D mouse, tablets, iPads, keyboards, lights, desk setups, you name it. UH Studio is an architecture company consisting of a design and research wing and UH Studio Design Academy focusing on education. Here you can expect to find useful videos on topics that expose the architectural process, helping architects, students, and artists understand the typical architectural design thinking and how to use software for architecture. Another goal is also to show you how certain architectural concepts work, like some of the amazing public spaces around. So here are the topics in more detail. Number 1. Giving an architect's understanding on design projects. Here we'll be answering questions like why do certain spaces work the way they do, and what makes them special, and how can we learn from the process and experience of these spaces. Some of the projects include great public squares, cultural projects, and why some buildings are shaped the way they are. We want to make sure that you get to understand the projects you care the most about, so if you have any recommendations on places or buildings to review, please write below in the comments. Number 2. Design and graphic software tips, tutorials, and workflows. There are many great channels talking about architectural software workflows, but UH Studio is a little different. We talk about less common software, except for Rhino and Grasshopper, with the aim to popularize common workflows with alternative apps to the mainstream expensive ones. I can go on this topic for a long while, but the main issue is about ownership. Here you can find information on tools that don't require subscriptions, so if you would like to revisit a project for reference later, you wouldn't need to pay money for a subscription just to be able to access your own files. I mean, yeah, it is as ridiculous as it sounds. I'm a long-time Blender user and it's part of my essential professional toolkit. Since it works so well for me, I'm on a mission to show you how useful Blender can be for the architectural design process. From the early concept design stages to visualization. I have presented how we use Blender at the 2019 Blender Conference and at various other events in London. So here you can find videos with many quick tips, tricks, and more detailed multi-part series on specific workflows. And as always, further suggestions are always welcome. Besides Blender, there will be more focus on other apps like the Affinity graphics suite consisting of Photo, Designer, and Publisher, and using Freecad as an alternative to Revit, Rhino and Grasshopper workflows, and sketching in apps like Krita and Procreate and Concepts. Number 3. In case you're keeping count, what is it like being an architect working on large international projects? Besides Blender, another strong inspiration to start this channel has been to show the other side of the architecture spectrum as a reaction to the amazing content by 30x40 design workshops. The videos are great, but they show a one-man operation on small projects. Most architects work in small to medium companies focusing on larger projects. And I do admit, it is rather difficult when deep in the design process working on confidential designs to actually have the time to show how the projects work, so I completely understand why there aren't that many architects showing the process working on larger projects. Polished office marketing videos definitely do not count towards portrayal of the actual process. I can talk about projects that I've worked on that are already in the public domain, and I'm really looking forward to share the behind-the-scenes process with you. Number 4. Tech that improves productivity for architects, designers, and artists. I'm kind of obsessed with gadgets that could help in any way. Like, really. I don't want to show you my mouse collection and keyboard collection looks like. But our keyboards, mice, and tablets are our artistic paintbrushes. They help a lot, so we have to make sure we select the ones that can truly improve our workflow. I reviewed tech like the Space Mouse, also known as a 3D mouse, regular mice, tablets, desk setups, and anything else that can reduce strain on the body, improve posture, and boost productivity. Did I also mention that it looks pretty cool? So who am I and why should you listen to me? I've had a passion for architecture since I can remember myself. I've been pretty lucky with my education, which has constantly aroused my curiosity. It includes a 5-year professional BR degree in Philadelphia and a postgraduate Master of Architecture and Urbanism degree from the Design Research Lab from the Architectural Association in London. DRL, for short, is a research-oriented program co-founded by the sometimes controversial but highly committed to the academic rigor Patrick Schumacher, who is now the director of Zaha Hadid Architects after the absolute superstar of the profession, Dame Zaha Hadid, suddenly passed away in 2016. The work we did in the course was highly experimental in both the physical and digital mediums. We were exposed to theories and practices, challenging the notion of what architecture can do, and picked up a number of new tools on the way, most notably Maya and processing. What I learned is that it's good to sometimes bend the rules of design and of the profession, giving me a reason to continue to explore my curiosity with alternative design workflows for the purpose of improved design. When I started working professionally in London after DRL, I brought that curiosity and desire to keep learning with me to Agile Associates, AHMM, and HOK. Colleagues and team leaders have been supportive in using whatever tools necessary to optimize workflows, with the ultimate goal being great, thoughtful, and appropriate design for the given project. As a student in Philadelphia, Louis Kahn's expression of "what does a brick want to be" is firmly ingrained in my architectural comprehension, as all tools are ultimately a means to better design. Along the way, I've worked on projects throughout the US, UK, Europe, Middle East, and Africa, such as designing the auditorium for the new London headquarters of Goldman Sachs while at AJ, involvement with the Camden Locks Village master plan while at AHMM, and numerous projects at HOK, like the Etihad Arena in Yas, Abu Dhabi, Barca's new basketball arena. Hopefully they sort out their financial problems, because we need to build that, guys, okay? And my latest project, a mixed 2-building scheme in Lagos, Nigeria. In addition, I have been teaching through various workshops on Blender, Rhino, and Grasshopper, while also thinking about non-commissioned design challenges through UH Studio. Now I'm curious about you. What brings you to this channel, and what would you like to learn about? Thanks for staying to the end. No, really, thank you, because there's so few of you that stay all the way to the end, and see you soon. Oh, wait a minute. Looks great.